Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to giving you a recap of my road to nationals that I ended up playing today. At the time you're watching this, it'll be yesterday. Kind of give you my 5-round breakdown, what I think of the list, some changes I may make in the future if I end up keep playing Katsu in this meta. And yeah, just kind of go through it. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully enjoy your stay. Feel free to check out my Discord down below, as well as the channel membership, especially for my long-standing supporters. If you want to find another way to support the channel, you can do it via a channel membership. There's 3 tiers down there, really good stuff. But yeah, we'll get right into it. So 5-round road to nationals, ended up going 3-2. We'll talk about the round by round first, and then I'll talk about the list and overall what I think. First round drafted, or went up against Zoe, who had actually won the road to nationals the day before up in DC. She was on, or they were on Dromai, and it was an interesting game. They ended up tumulting me their turn 2, turn 3, but they had to take a ton of damage to do it. I ended up, I think, going first in that matchup, I believe, or second. And so, yeah, they had to take a ton of damage. They had Arsenal the Tumultai, and they took like 15 to the face, I think, or something like that, 15, 20 damage in order to get it out, which is a lot. But it was kind of a weird line where they had already taken like 8 damage, and then I think they didn't realize that was going to go on the turn I did. And by that point, like, do you really throw your whole hand and have a Tumultai still stuck in Arsenal? So they just kind of like went on with the Tumultai play, ended up breaking my mask. But at that point, I think the life total, if I remember correctly, was like 35 to 20 or something crazy. So I ended up having enough of a life lead to where as long as I drew into good hands, I would just keep enough pressure. And we ended up drawing the natural combo line like 3 out of 4 turns. It was insane. So I got a little lucky on that, on the timing that I was able to keep tempo. And another good thing about that matchup was the turn they played Tumultai, I was able to pop it with Command and Conquer. So I didn't have to waste damage on killing it the next turn. I could just play out my hand, and my hand was like surging, whelming bonds. So ended up taking that one pretty convincingly, but I did have some really good draws. Second round was Prism. Prism's a funny matchup. I'm definitely favored in Prism. I feel good in a Prism. But the thing about Prism is they can just high roll you, especially if they go first and they're able to like get Erudition on the board and hold it and wait, and then just pop off on an Erudition play and really just put a lot of ward on the board, deal a lot of damage, so on and so forth. It can get out of control very easily if you're not careful. So they got Erudition out early. There was a good Celestial Reprimand play they had, which blocked out one of my poppers, which hurt. But I was able to keep enough pressure, and I had one specific turn where they had Ward 5 on the board. They had a Spectral Shield from Herald of Protection, and then Herald of Protection, and then or not Herald of Protection, yeah, making from Herald of Protection. Then they had the Figment of Protection on the board flipped. So I Kadachi'd for 1, got rid of the Spectral Shield. Then I played Surging Strike for 4 with a yellow, pitching a blue. Obviously the 2 floating. They let that get eaten by Figment of Protection, and then I closed the combat chain because nothing had hit anyway, activated Heart and Cross Trap, and then played Surging Strike for 5, and I proceeded to then play Descendant Bonds. So I had a 5-card hand. So that was a really crazy play where I was able to get rid of all the ward and still threaten the full combo line. So I kind of took tempo there and was able to just keep tempo. It was a very close game, but I kind of eked out at the end. So we're 2-0. We're feeling really good. But our meta was literally, like, obviously there was some, like, onesies and twosies here and there. Like Levia, there was a couple Boltons, another Katsu, stuff like that. But for the most part, there was 0 Assassin that I saw. It was half Dromai, or like a good portion Dromai, a good portion Gasai, and the rest were Guardian. So I knew I was going to run a Guardian eventually. I ended up running into a Victor round 3. Lost that matchup. I played Pouncing Lynx, which we'll talk about here in a second. I hate this card. I tried to test with it this week, and obviously you see like relatively okay success. But when you tell Victor, I don't care about your Kadachis, it really hurts, because even in matchups like Asai, there's certain matchups where, yes, are you going to get Mask of Momentum off during the game? Probably not. But what Mask of Momentum does is it makes people respect your Kadachis. It really does. And when people don't respect your Kadachis, it feels really bad. I know that this mask has done well. I know there's been lists that have done really, really well with it. But overall, for me, like, it's just not a way I want to play. It's not the way I like to play Katsu. So going forward, I probably will not have Pouncing Lynx in my list at all, unless I make a list that like revolves around it, right? So only lost 5 life to nothing against the Victor. Victor's definitely not favored, but I didn't feel like I did anything wrong. It was really funny. Both of us didn't see anything for the first 3 hands. My first hand was 2 reinforced lines, an ancestral empowerment, and 100 wins, and I went first. So I just pitched away the reinforced line and the ancestral because I thought the game might go long, and then Arsenal, the second reinforced line, kept 100 wins in my hand. And that felt really bad. But then they didn't have anything other than a blue and a hammer for 3 turns. But I also did not see a Surging Strike until card, like, and you need Surging Strike in that matchup to really, like, put together some good turns. I didn't see a Surging Strike for, like, the first 16 to 20 cards, and I run 6 of them. So that felt really bad. Ended up losing that one, but it was a really close game. I just knew once I got to single life, you're on a clock because they can Golden Sun or Macho Grande. And they ended up having a really good turn mid-game where they Golden Sunned or they Terra Sundered into a Golden Sun, which was just nutty. So it is what it is on that one. Fall as good as I could. Just lost 5 life to nothing. Then played a Kasai. Again, I run 20. Let's see here. Let's count here for a second, y'all. I run 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24 go again cards in my deck. 24. And I run 3 razors to bail me out when I don't have a go again. I did not see a go again card for 3.5 turns. That's insane. And I just lost tempo after that. That game wasn't even close. I mean, I got them down to like 20 life or something, 15. I think like 15, 13. But they controlled the game the entire time. It was against Kasai. Kasai player is very talented. Kasai player ended up making top 8, and so did the Victor. Both of my losses were to top 8, and that's how we're going to talk about the breakers here in a second. So I'm going in around 5. I'm 2-2. Very, very outside shot at making top 8. I've made top 8 before, actually, losing rounds 3 and 4 back in Dallas. So I was like, okay, I have a shot. So going around 5, I'm on table 5, which means it's a potential winning in. And so ended up playing against a Jeremiah, played against Natalie, really talented Jeremiah player, was able to just keep tempo. I had to pop my boots one time on a Flusterfist blue in order to guarantee, like, going into or actually not Flusterfist, it was a Whelming, in order to, like, do the rest of my turn. But I was able to keep enough pressure and had a really good turn at the end of the game in order to, like, close it out. So I was 3-2. And a good local friend of mine, Conrad, or newly acquainted friend, Conrad, was at table 4. Conrad had lost round 1 and eventually lost round 5. They lost to a person who didn't make top 8 in round 1, but was like in the middle tables, like table 7 or 8. And then they lost to the winning in table 4. So they lost to the same person I lost to, the same Kasai. I lost round 3 and 4, both to top 8 players. The same Kasai we both had the same loss, as far as the person we lost to, and then my loss was to someone who made top 8. Their loss was to someone who didn't. So my thought was, okay, I'm table behind them. I win, they lost. I have better losses, and I didn't lose round 1. So I thought I had made it, but I bubbled out at 9th, which at the end of the day, like, the competitive side of me is upset because I'm like, man, I wanted to make it. But I'm really glad to see a local Conrad. I'm going to check in and see how they did. Hopefully Conrad ended up getting his invite. He's playing Mara Forest round 1 of top 8. So Kasai versus Jeremiah. So that's a little bit feels bad. But at any rate, we went 3-2. We played really well. We won the matchups that we should win, in my opinion. Jeremiah and Prism. We lost Victor and Kasai, but the Victor matchup was super close. Both games I lost. I don't think there's anything I could have done crazy better. When it comes to the list, definitely taking out Mask and Pouncing Links and the Pouncing Links package. It's just not the way I want to play Katsu. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's bad or it's not good. I have a different way of playing Katsu, and I think my way helps a lot when it comes to forcing interaction at all times. In this meta, you have to force your opponent to interact with you. And late game, after you pop Mask and Pouncing Links, they can just let both Kodachis hit and then overblock your one attack. It feels really bad. Whereas Mask of Momentum, you at least put the thought in their head of, should I block this second Kodachi? And even against Kasai, force them to use their Dynamo on the second Kodachi. I'd rather that than them block out my Surging for 4 or 5 with their Dynamo, right? And use it on a key attack. So it is what it is. When it comes to the list itself, obviously the sideboard's getting a little changed, but the main board, I loved everything. I love not having Art of War. Razor literally won me 2 games. not single-handedly, but it completely changed the tempo. There's something that we're not expecting. In the Prism matchup, I had a horrible hand. I had three blues, and a Razor. I had Whelming. It was like Winds of Eternity and Lord of Wind, and then Razor. I played Kadachi, Whelming. And they were like, okay. And I had Boots up. So they blocked 3, right? To get around the Art of War and the breaking skills, or ancestral breaking skills. And I was able to Razor it and make it 4. They didn't have any way of putting ward, and it gave it go again. And I was able to Katsu trigger, go get bonds, and play Fluster. With Art of War, I could fix my hand, sure, but then you're kind of to the RNG gods if you draw into something good. And even then, it's just kind of weird. So it just threw my opponent off really, really a lot, and I really enjoyed Razor. Everything else felt really good. McGinty, I could have gotten off one turn, but that was the turn I got Golden Sunned. I would have gotten a good McGinty playoff, so I'm happy with that. 3 yellow 100 wins feels amazing. I definitely recommend putting these in. Getting this in early, like a yellow 100 wins, and then playing a bonds and going and getting a red 100 wins without using up 2 of your 100 wins feels really, really good. I had turns where, against Jeremiah Kadachi 100 wins the Kyloria for 2, drew, and then went and Katsu trigger and was able to play 100 wins for 4, 100 wins for 5, and then finished with a wins of a just really dumb stuff that you can do with those, and it really compounds really quickly. And I even played Ancestral Harmony one time, and it worked out. I played it from Arsenal, got a Winds of Eternity. That's how I closed out the game against Natalie, because I played Ancestral Harmony, banished a Winds of Eternity, and I was able to go Descendant Gustway for 4, Bonds of Ancestry for 5, 100 wins for 4, and then they conceded at that point because they couldn't block out everything. They were at 2 life, and I would have played wins for whatever. So really, really fun. I'm really happy with the list. If I take out this 100 wins package or this links package, I'd probably put in 1 more Reinforce the Line, taking out the Salt, then put in 3 Flick Flacks, and then this 1 extra. I'm not sure what I would do yet. I'm not sure where that would be. Maybe 1 more AB, honestly, would be pretty nice. Or even if Kano comes around even more, I can use that. But overall, really happy with how I played. Gym Gods were not my favor, but, we could have went 4-1 and I had to worry about it. So that's all you can really say. Yeah. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. I might do 1 more Road to Nationals on Saturday in Richmond, Virginia. Maybe play KO or something, have some fun with it. We'll have to see. I'm not sure. Definitely will not play Katsu 100%. I will play a different hero, but we'll see if it's Arachne, if it's KO, maybe even Leviah if I got enough practice on it. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching this. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's totally fine. Go to another Flesh and Blood creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.